All right, today we are piecing together an absolutely epic origin story. I mean, this is a story that could challenge everything you think you know about where we come from. And the craziest part? It's all pieced together from some of the oldest writings on the entire planet. So yeah, let's dive right in.
Okay, so what if I told you that our story, the story of humanity, wasn't about slow, gradual evolution? What if, instead, it was a deliberate act, an act of creation by beings who weren't from around here? And what if the proof for all of this was just hiding in plain sight, etched onto tens of thousands of ancient clay tablets?
And no, that's not a typo. We're talking 30,000 tablets. Just try to picture that for a second. An entire library, but instead of paper books, it's all stone. Buried for thousands of years, just waiting for someone to come along and read it.
Look, this isn't some sci-fi movie script. Back in 1849, archaeologists in what's now Iraq literally unearthed this massive library. And the story these tablets tell, it's so grand, so epic, you'd think it was mythology. But here's the kicker. The people who wrote all this down thousands of years ago, they recorded it as history.
So if this is history, then who are the main characters in this incredible saga? Well, let's meet the beings at the very heart of it all.
The tablets call them the Anunnaki. And that name, it literally translates to those who from heaven to earth came. Now, according to these texts, we're not talking about gods in some spiritual, ethereal sense. No, these were described as powerful, physical beings who traveled from their own world to ours, and they were on a mission of cosmic importance.
So you've got to ask, right? What could possibly drive a civilization that's advanced enough for interstellar travel to cross the vastness of space just to come to Earth? Well, the answer the tablets give is surprisingly simple. It all came down to survival.
Okay, so here's the setup. Picture this. It's about 450,000 years ago. The Anunnaki's home planet, a world they called Nibiru, is in big trouble. Its atmosphere is literally failing. Then, an exiled king named Alalu makes this desperate solo trip to Earth, and he finds the one thing that could save them all, gold. But not for money, for survival. See, the plan was to grind the gold into this superfine dust and spray it into their upper atmosphere to patch the holes, basically. With their entire world on the line, a mission gets the green light, and it's led by their chief scientist, a prince named Enki.
And you know what? The mission to Earth was a success. They found the gold. But, like so often happens, solving one massive problem just created a brand new one. And this conflict, wow, it would change the course of not one, but two worlds forever.
See, the heavy lifting, the real grunt work, that wasn't being done by the Anunnaki top brass. Oh no. That job fell to a group known as the Ijiji. You can think of them as the working class, the miners, the engineers, the ones getting their hands dirty. And the work they were doing was absolutely relentless.
Now, for thousands of years, the Ijiji toiled away in the mines, digging the canals. I mean, the work was brutal. And eventually, their patience just snapped. They revolted, they burned their tools, they marched right up to their commander's headquarters, surrounded the place, and basically went on strike. Just like that, the entire mission to save their homeworld was on the brink of complete collapse.
So, with all the gold mining at a total standstill, the Anunnaki leaders were getting desperate. They needed a new workforce, and they needed it fast. But their solution wasn't to sit down and negotiate. Oh no, their solution was to create one. And we actually have this recorded. The Atrahasis tablet lays out the solution proposed by Enki, the chief scientist, and this is a direct quote from the tablet. "Let us create a mortal man so that he may bear the yoke. Let man bear the load of the gods." I mean, there it is right there. The plan was to literally engineer a new species, a primitive worker, to do the job for them.
Now, the texts actually mention a couple of main jobs for this new worker race. Some tablets really focus on the backbreaking labor of mining for that gold, but others put more emphasis on the need to maintain all the canals and the huge agricultural systems the Anunnaki had built. But really, either way you slice it, the crucial point is the same. They needed a workforce.
And the process they describe, it's just eerily similar to what we call genetic engineering today. They didn't create us out of thin air. Instead, they took a species that was already here on Earth, a hominid, one of our own early ancestors, and they upgraded it. They mixed its genetics with the essence of one of their own gods who was sacrificed. We're probably talking about a blood or cell sample here. And out of that process, the very first human, called the Adamu in the texts, was born. And you know what? The plan worked perfectly.
Humanity got to work, toiling away in the mines and the fields. But the Anunnaki had made a critical miscalculation, a huge one, and it created a problem that was so much bigger than a simple labor dispute.
And here's the twist. Enki, our creator, had apparently slipped a little something extra into our genetic code. The texts, specifically one called the Myth of Adapa, say that we were engineered with this hidden, latent ability to one day surpass our creators in knowledge and potential. We weren't just made to be workers, we were made to be heirs.
Well, one of the other Anunnaki leaders, a guy named Enlil, saw this potential, and he didn't see a gift. He saw a threat, a massive threat. Now, he couldn't undo what had been done, but he could limit us. And the very first thing he did was to cap our lifespan, right at 120 years.
Oh, but he didn't stop there, not by a long shot. According to modern interpretations of these texts, Enlil rolled out a full-blown divide-and-conquer strategy. First, he confused our languages so we couldn't communicate and collaborate. Sound familiar? That's the story we know as the Tower of Babel. Then, he scattered us across the face of the earth. And maybe the most cunning move of all, he supposedly installed a worship gene, a biological trigger that makes us look for answers and authority outside of ourselves, which would pretty much guarantee we'd stay loyal and under control.
So the story goes that the Anunnaki eventually left Earth. But what if they didn't take everything with them? What if they left things behind? People who follow this theory believe that you can still find echoes of their presence all around us today, hidden in plain sight.
I mean, think about it. Could something like the mysterious Black Knight satellite actually be one of their ancient probes still up there watching us? That 97% of our DNA that scientists call junk DNA, what if that's the dormant code that Enki gifted us, just waiting for the right key to unlock it? What about the global flood myths you find in almost every ancient culture? Could that be a shared traumatic memory of some catastrophe they were involved in? And all those impossibly huge megalithic structures around the world, are they the last remnants of Anunnaki technology? I mean, these are the questions that keep this whole incredible story alive.
And all of that leaves us with one final, really provocative thought. If any of this story is true, are we just the product of some ancient alien science experiment? Or, by finally starting to unlock the very potential our creators were so afraid of, are we on the verge of becoming their equals? Or maybe, just maybe, even their successors?